Welcome back to our special report, Patient No More. The doctor you're about to meet calls health insurance a broken system. He founded a company to fight insurance claim denials.
It's horrible, it's stressful, it's wrong on so many levels.
I-Team investigator Adam Walser explains why it seems like insurance companies are playing games to avoid paying claims.
You're talking to someone who is the insider's insider here.
Dr. Bill Hennessy calls himself Dr. Bill.
I have a manual blood pressure.
He has fought to get insurance companies to pay legitimate claims for decades. As a doctor, as the owner of a physician billing company, and now as co-founder of Care Guide Advocates, which helps clients negotiate cost and appeal denied claims.
There's two types of people that have been financially harmed or screwed over by the system, if you will. Doctors and patients. And I've been both. And I just said, we're not going to take it anymore.
Hennessy says insurance companies often play games. Think of a dice game. The outcome is uncertain, and no matter how careful or informed the player is, the outcome is ultimately left to chance. The probability of rolling a specific number on a die is 1 out of 6, about 17%. Hennessy says you have a higher chance of getting a medical insurance claim denied.
National average, as well as my physician billing company average, is 20% of claims are denied.
How do they decide what that 20% is that they deny?
It's based primarily on one thing, price tag. The more expensive the care, the more likely the denial. All of a sudden, everything's being questioned. And of course, when there's expensive drugs, they're always questioned.
Like in a poker game, insurance companies may bluff when it comes to adding ambiguous language and fine print, often leaving the patient unsure of the hand they're holding when it comes to coverage. And that may lead them to fold under pressure when a claim is denied, and sometimes they end up even having to pay for their own care out of pocket.
If we're frustrated and confused, we give up. The goal is to open up our wallets.
So when the insurance company doesn't pay, then say, hey, let's make a deal because you want to keep on living.
Yes, and we fight that like hell.
I see a shadow of the heart right here.
Hennessy says if insured patients don't appeal and agree to pay the doctor or hospital directly instead, their insurance will likely be off the hook, even if it was a legitimate claim. Hennessy says many things can result in a claim being denied.
Sometimes it's a billing coding game.
Diagnostic codes and records show what services patients receive and are used to file insurance claims.
There used to be 12,000 diagnosis codes 10 years ago. Now there's 72,000.
And that's on purpose to be confusing?
More mumbo jumbo to have more reasons for denials, more statistical mismatches of codes so that things are denied.
Since we're talking about 72,000 codes, we're using a single grain of rice to represent each of those codes because that's about the number of grains in a 10-pound bag of rice. We've colored this single grain red. Look how easy it is to see how it can get lost. But Hennessy says sometimes multiple codes apply to the same procedure.
So it's a match game between those two codes to get the yes. So we resubmit and we resubmit until we get the care we need covered.
Kind of like pulling a slot machine. Hennessy says other times claims are denied after patients were told they were approved.
Sometimes it's a pre-authorization game.
He says documenting everything makes it easier for patients to appeal.
You need to know the first name and last name of who you spoke with at the hospital, who says that it's a covered procedure, and you guard that piece of information. You get it in writing.
When claims are denied, Hennessy says hospitals start out quoting them the full retail price for procedures, called the charge master rate.
They do play a discount game and a charge master game, and if your claim is denied, they do try to make you feel good that they're giving you a discount off of that fake high charge master price list.
So it's kind of monopoly money in a sense.
Absolutely, it is monopoly money.
Using the monopoly analogy, think of the insurance company as the bank using the premiums they collect to pay patients' bills. In the game of Monopoly, each player pays the same amount for each property, But in the real world, each insurance company pays a different amount for the same thing. Under the Affordable Care Act, negotiated rates between hospitals and insurance companies can be found on hospitals' websites. They're posted in a machine language format called JSON, most commonly used for web development. And that's what you or I would look at.
Yeah.
And you've got a multi-million-dollar technology business, and you have to have your experts decipher all this.
That's correct.
A converted list shows these negotiated rates for common procedures vary greatly.
And those are normal.
Take a colonoscopy. One company pays the hospital $1,226, another pays $3,093, and a third company pays $14,187. Well, what in the world? How does that make sense at all?
It doesn't.
One insurance company pays that hospital $4,100 for heart catheterization, while another pays $24,000. The pay rate for a brain MRI varies from $1,800 to $19,000, depending on the company, and some procedures aren't listed at all.
So they're intentionally deep-sixing the expense of care because they don't want their competitors to see it.
So this is not only monopoly money, this is starting out like you get $10 here, but I get $100,000 over here.
Yes.
Hennessy says whether your insurance pays for the care you need could depend on your insurance company, your hospital, and the pay rates they negotiated. As random as a roll of the dice. But to him, there's nothing about the broken healthcare system that's fun and games.
It all comes down to profit over patient.
And people are dying over this.
Yes.
Imagine this, your insurance approves a treatment that will keep you from going blind, but months later you get a bill for almost $400,000.
That's more than the mortgage on my home. Where would that money come from?
Up next, how our consumer investigator got life-changing results for her as Patient No More continues.